I felt supported more than I felt like now I owe someone. You know, now someone is on my case and like they're hovering around my house with a helicopter. No. You know, like I felt supported. Like, okay, we gave you the money, you know, and we know you're gonna pay us back. I really, the feeling of trust, that was really, you know, it's a good feeling.
There are few cases in the Jewish world that a Torah principle, a principle that is articulated in the Torah and is written about in the Talmud, is played out in such a distinct and specific way as interest-free lending.
There are many businesses in the San Francisco Bay Area that would not be here if it wasn't for the help we received.
We like to say that we're the original microlenders. When you hear the story about 1897 and the guys around the table and chipping in the money and making their first loan, well, what was that loan for? Well, it was most likely to enable someone to buy a horse and buggy.
People that have extra money and that want to help people put money in this. I explained it to her. I said, put money in this big pot. And I said, then people who need money, like us, you know, come and take a little money out of the pot. And then as we pay it back, the money goes back in the pot, then other people come and take it. And then they use it for a while, and then they put it back, and then it goes to other people. And she said, that sounds really good, but what if somebody comes up and the pot's already empty? And I said, that's why they have to do fundraising.
We don't look at it as giving charity. We look at it as enabling a borrower to establish dignity.
I felt alone a lot of the times, and it was kind of awkward being someone who was Jewish and highly educated and went to an Ivy League school and yet not rich. I would cry sometimes, absolutely, about my debt and really struggle.
It seemed to me back in 2006, 2007, that electric cars were actually going to be the future. So I decided to focus on charging stations for those cars.
I really wanted to be able to make it feasible to still work in the nonprofit world, to still help families in need, and not be kind of in the poverty level myself.
We were getting ready for our first big installation, and we just didn't really have the money to go forward.
I would try to borrow bits of money from people, but that was kind of embarrassing or awkward. I didn't know where to turn, I guess, before I realized that there was Hebrew Free Loan.
More than anything else, it felt really good to have people listen to the idea that I was working on and say, like, you know, yeah, that's a good idea.
But I'm still a social worker, and I have my debts paid off, and there'd be one less therapist there available to work with these 3-year-olds that have seen horrendous things, that speak Spanish and maybe otherwise wouldn't be getting help.
There's a story in Jewish life that says a Jew is a person who stands with their feet planted firmly on the ground and their head reaching up into heaven. And so the tree is an important symbol. We are showing that deep values in the Jewish community have survived and will continue to survive and flourish, and that we can provide that goal and be a model to the broader community on how we treat people.
I think this idea of Tikkun Olam is really important, this idea that in some ways everything we should be doing should be healing the world or making the world a better place.
I'm committed, actually, when I get in a position where I can do some philanthropy, and that I will give back to them, because it just means one more person who can, you know, buy a house or go to college or, you know, fulfill whatever their dream is.
I didn't feel like I was doing enough with my life, that I didn't feel like I had purpose. And so I feel like I've gotten the purpose in my life.
I got what I always wanted, which was, you know, a daughter.
I went up to her and I picked her up, and she was just laughing and gurgling, and she was 5 months old. And I was crying, and I thought I was gonna scare her by my tears.
You helped me achieve my life dream. You added another layer to my Jewish identity, a feeling of safety. I look forward to the day I can give back.